I got 680 in the college entrance examination, and I went to college with my boyfriend. I got 680 in the college entrance examination, but I gave up 985 and chose to accompany my boyfriend Yoonjo to college. Everyone thought I loved him terribly. On the first day of school, he took off his disguise in public and revealed his identity as a second-generation rich man. Thank you for letting me experience the purest love before getting married. I've had enough fun. Let's break up. My classmates all thought I would be hysterical in trying to persuade me to stay. I looked at the 10 million that had just arrived and the admission notice from the University of Southern California and suppressed the raised corners of my mouth. He didn't know that it was his fiancée, Sue Tang, who paid me to act in the scene. Now Miss Sue is tired of playing with the model brothers outside and is willing to get married. Of course, it was time for me to leave. 1. What are you doing standing still? Kneel down and say something soft. Maybe Brother Yi is willing to keep you as a pet. You are motionless. Isn't it because you can't bear the blow? Are you crazy? You just tricked someone into coming to a junior college and went to Australia to study on your own. No wonder this little girl is angry. Brother Yi, you are the same. After all, I will serve you for 3 years, and I will give you some breakup fee. Yi and Joe's little followers are still nagging. I couldn't wait to go back and pack my luggage, so I smiled and said, okay, let's break up, then hurriedly turned around and ran back. Yi and Joe was still putting on airs, waiting for me to persuade him to stay, but when he saw this, his face turned dark instantly. The crowd of onlookers chirped. The fake photos have become reality. Will the boss chase his wife to the crematorium next? Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. But this girl is not sad at all. She seems quite happy. That's right, it doesn't look like I was dumped. It looks more like I won a multi-million-dollar jackpot. Hearing this, Yi Yun-jo's face turned even darker. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. Don't listen to their nonsense. They have never seen Wutong kneeling and looking behind Brother Yi. When Brother Yi was pretending to be a poor boy, he could wash his underwear with a cold face. Now that Brother Yi has transformed into a rich man, why should she turn into a bullshit plaster and hold on to it? I bet within 3 days, she will definitely come back crying, begging to be her lover, and also stay with Brother Yi. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. Yi and Joe's face softened slightly at this moment. He turned around and got into the leader's Rolls Royce and roared away with a group of Lamborghinis, Bugatti Veyrons, and Ferraris. Only a group of whispering people were left. 3 days later, Yi and Joe came to the main entrance again and prepared to block me. And I was already on a plane flying to this beautiful country.
2.
In fact, I am very grateful to Yi and Joe. If it weren't for his whim, he wanted to pretend to be a poor boy and experience the so-called pure love, I would not have the opportunity to study abroad. I am an orphan, and my adoptive parents adopted me to be a child bride for their son with Down syndrome. I had to learn to feed my brother, wipe him, and even help him go to the toilet since I was a child. If I had gone out and gone straight to their workplace to wreak havoc and cry in front of the boss, I might not have had the chance to study. Just when I was being beaten by my adoptive parents because I refused to drop out of school to marry and have children with my brother with Tang syndrome, Sue Tang found me. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. She wanted Yi Yun-jo not to disturb her life, but also not to come into contact with unscrupulous women, so as not to contract any diseases or give birth to several illegitimate children. As long as I can do it, she can help me transfer my household registration and give me 10 million yuan and an admission notice from a prestigious foreign school. They are all smart people, and with one look in their eyes, I guessed her real intention. She wanted me to turn Yi Yun-jo into a love brain, so as to avoid the idea of competing with her for family property after marriage. This deal is a good deal. How to turn a man into a love brain. Just keep praising him and admiring him. Especially when he pretended to be a poor student, he was praised and admired by the most beautiful girl with the best grades in school. Even a man can't resist it. In the past 3 years since I transferred to his school, I have become the focus of the school. But no matter how other boys pursue me, my eyes will only stay for him. Breakfast in the morning, greetings late at night, comfort when you are frustrated, and adoring eyes when you are proud. With just a few tricks, I managed to hook him. But when Sue Tang, who had always looked down on him, offered me an olive branch for marriage, he kicked me away without hesitation. Will I be sad? No, I may feel a little frustrated, but it can't compare to the joy of being about to run towards freedom. The plane was about to take off, and the phone in my pocket suddenly vibrated violently. It was Yi Yun-jo. Come out, I'm at the door. Where have you been? Why aren't you at school? Don't let your mind wander. Answer me, Wutong. I pulled out the phone card with an expressionless face. 3 years of chat history, late night calls, and birthday wishes were all thrown into the toilet trash, along with a parabola. I waved my hand towards the void. Seyunla. Farevel, Yeyungsa. 3. I chose the most prestigious film school at the University of Southern California, majoring in screenwriting and minoring in creative writing. Thanks to that 10 million, I don't have to worry about living expenses, and I even have money to hire a private tutor to help me overcome the language barrier and complete my arduous studies. Error 500, server error. 1,500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. During my studies, I took the opportunity to make friends with several famous actors and directors and developed a strong network of relationships. In the past 6 years, he not only successfully obtained dual master's degrees, but also successfully published a series of science fiction novels, Eclipse Era, which was translated into 35 languages and sold over 100 million copies worldwide, making him a world-famous writer phoenix, W. At the same time, with the help of my senior, the famous Hollywood director Adam, Eclipse Age, Part 1 in Tropic Frontier, was successfully released and earned tens of billions of box office worldwide. I also entered the world stage as a screenwriter. Since the protagonist of Eclipse Age, Part 2 Words of Deep Space, was set by me to be a Chinese young man with black hair and black eyes, Adam led the crew to China for casting. As a screenwriter, I also returned to China. On the first day back home, at Adam's request, I took him to visit my high school campus. In his words, I am very curious about what kind of environment it was that cultivated a talented writer like you. When I was taking Adam to taste my favorite fried dumplings at the snack street at the door, a voice stopped me. Wu Tong, is that you? I turned around and saw a girl wearing cool clothes. You are. I looked at her doubtfully. She covered her forehead with her palm. Do you recognize me? Wang Qianqian, you have changed so much. I was surprised. The thin girl who always had thick bangs covering her eyebrows and huddled in the corner of the classroom has now turned into a hot black girl. Her eyes widened and she looked me up and down, her eyes full of surprise. Oh my God, it's really you. You've become even more beautiful. Seeing me looking at her in surprise, she smiled knowingly. I need it for work. I am now an internet celebrity, and my character is a shy, dark-skinned hot girl, focusing on contrast. You don't know, Yi and Zhou took over his family's media company, and now many of our classmates are working in his company. The salary is good, and the benefits are high. You are so beautiful. You should give it a try. You don't know that after you left without saying goodbye, he went crazy looking for you and mobilized all our classmates to contact you. Only later did he find out that you had gone abroad. Seeing Adam approaching with interest, she realized that I was not alone. She pointed at Adam awkwardly. Your new boyfriend? I'm sorry. He probably can't understand Chinese. You understand. Adam spoke standard Mandarin. Go on. Who is Yi and Zhou? I covered my face, feeling as if I had eaten shit and been discovered by a friend. Sure enough, with Adam's big mouth publicity, the entire crew soon knew about my dark history. The heroine Fiona even held up her mobile phone and flipped through Yi and Zhou's Baidu encyclopedia to ask me if I was him. Only then did I learn that Yi and Zhou took over his family's media company 3 years ago. Not only did he promote himself as a star, he also signed many female celebrities and female anchors, and there was constant gossip. He even signed up for this movie audition. 4. The day of the audition. I had just arrived outside the audition room when a group of people passed by in the hallway. At a glance, I saw the figure of the stars over the moon, Yin Zhou. I thought I would meet him, but I didn't expect it to be so soon. 6 years have sharpened him. He is more mature. His face is more handsome with makeup. He is wearing an expensive suit, walking among several flamboyantly dressed actresses, lazily turning over the script in his hand, giving him an aura of nobility. I have to admit that he has the capital to make a living as a star. Just when we were about to pass each other, he seemed to notice something and raised his head suddenly. When he saw my appearance clearly, his pupils suddenly tightened. Shock, joy, and disbelief eventually turned into incomprehensible complexity. The girl closest to him immediately noticed the same thing about him and took his arm as a demonstration with a hostile face. Hey, isn't this the former top student Wu Tong? I responded calmly. Yes, it's me. As soon as the other girls heard the name Wu Tong, they immediately became alert like a cat whose tail was stepped on. They took a few steps quickly and stood in front of Yi and Zhou as if I were some kind of savage beast that could eat people. I've seen them in audition materials, and they all seem to be newcomers that Yi and Zhou's company is highly promoting. They are also his rumored girlfriends. I couldn't help but sigh in my heart. The person who came here is evil. I heard that my sister went to the United States to get gold plating. Lu Yuan, wearing sexy hot pants, was the first to attack. The consumption there is not cheap, and I don't know how I've survived all these years. Just as I was about to speak, Molly, who was wearing a silver sequin skirt, stepped forward and pinched my handbag unceremoniously. Isn't this outfit cheap? Burberry's latest season. She exclaimed exaggeratedly, turning to wink at her companions. I saw it at the counter last week for more than 50,000 yuan. I heard from Qianqian that I met my sister when she was shopping with a foreigner last time. Zhao Yunyun, who was wearing a small fragrant skirt, suddenly interrupted. She blinked her eyes innocently, covered her mouth, and chuckled. My sister must have met a lot of these friends in the United States, right? I heard that foreigners' ways of playing are very open. Yi and Zhou's face instantly darkened, and his brows furrowed. When Molly saw this, she waved her hands in a pretentious manner. Oh, don't say that. She smiled hypocritically. Sister, you got the scholarship based on your strength, right? Although my cousin is also in New York and said that some professors there particularly like Asian girls. I watched their performance quietly, with a faint smile on my lips. What is Wu Tong doing now? Yi and Zhou finally couldn't help but ask, his expression as arrogant as ever. If you need help. I interrupted him. No need. But Molly looked like she had seen through everything. Sister, you are here because you want to audition, right? But for acting, it's not just about having a good-looking face. You have to have a company and a backstage. Sister, I'm afraid you don't know. Mr. Yi is not only the CEO of Baiyun Media, but also the leading actor of Eclipse Era. It's not a small case to arrange a small role in the movie. I was surprised. The audition hasn't even started yet. Are you so sure that he is the male lead? Molly came closer to me and lowered her voice. Do you know Phoenix? She is the screenwriter of the movie. She and Mr. Yi attended the same high school. The appearance of the male protagonist is simply written after Mr. Yi. She must be Mr. Yi's former admirer. Who would you choose if you don't choose him? Several girls also echoed. The protagonists of the first film were chosen by Phoenix. They used to be newcomers with few works, but now they are all international superstars. I heard that she has absolute control over the casting, and even the director listens to her. Mr. Yi is so awesome to be secretly loved by such a person. Yi Yunzhou raised his chin proudly, as if waiting for me to beg him. I had no choice but to explain again. No need, really, I have a job. Several girls exchanged disdainful looks with each other, and Lu Yuanyuan covered her mouth and laughed exaggeratedly. Sister, it's better to find a serious job. She deliberately raised her voice. Even if it's working as a nanny or sweeping the streets, it's better than accompanying someone. She winked with meaning. That's right, Molly answered immediately, twirling her fingers around the ends of her hair. If Mr. Yi hadn't been so soft-hearted and nostalgic, who would have dared to take over someone like you? She looked me up and down, her eyes filled with malice. Zhao Yunyun took an exaggerated step back, pinched her nose, and said, Maybe I have contracted some internal disease. Suddenly, there was a click. The door to the audition room opened, and the heroine Fiona poked her head out. Phoenix, are you here? Come in quickly. Adam is urging you. 5. The air solidified instantly. Several girls had expressions of disdain on their faces. They mechanically turned their heads to look at the empty space behind them, then stiffly turned back to look at me. Molly's voice changed the tone. What she called, couldn't be you, could it? I nodded to Fiona. Wait a moment, I'll be there soon. Fiona gave me an okay gesture and leaned against the door frame with an, I want to watch a good show, expression on her face. As an old partner who has worked with me for many years, she knows my style very well. The faces of several girls instantly turned pale, and they quickly filled with flattering smiles. They rushed around and began to perform in all directions. Molly was the first to rush over, held my arm affectionately, and said coquettishly, Oh my God, Sister Wu Tong, you are actually the screenwriter Phoenix. Why didn't you tell me earlier? You caused people to misunderstand. Lu Yuanyuan pushed Emoli away and squeezed to the front. I was the one who was rude just now. It's all Qianqian's fault for misleading me. That talkative woman, I will break off our relationship with her when we get back. Zhao Yunyun was not to be outdone. I would say that Sister Wu Tong is well-dressed and has a great temperament. With this outfit, you can tell she has the taste of a dragon or a phoenix among people. Lu Yuanyuan's voice trembled, and there were suspicious tears in her eyes. As a Chinese, being able to create a world in Hollywood is really a light for us Chinese. I am so touched. Molly suddenly took out a crumpled book from her bag. I am a fan of your books. I have read every book dozens of times. My lifelong wish is to play a small role in your movie. You can't write me off just because of the misunderstanding. They rushed to get in front of me and spoke with effusive words, as if they were not the ones who had just insulted and belittled me. Huangbo is right. Don't blame yourself for not having good people around you. After you become famous, you'll be surrounded by good people. I gently withdrew my arm that was grabbed by them and slowly adjusted my cuffs. Really? But the heroine of my new film needs to speak French. I can. Lu Yuanyuan immediately raised her hand. Bonjour. You also need to know how to do equestrian. I've learned it. Molly quickly interjected. And you have to be willing to sacrifice for your art and do nude scenes. The three of them were dumbstruck for a moment, their faces turning blue and white. Fiona finally couldn't help laughing. Phoenix, stop playing around. Adam is really going to get angry. I smiled at them and said, Excuse me, ladies. When I turned around, I heard Molly whisper, Tisk, why are you pretending to be noble? I'm just a scriptwriter. 6. Yi Yunzhou finally recovered from the shock, but still maintained his aloof attitude. I didn't expect you to become so good. There was a bit of charity-like appreciation in his tone, as if I was still waiting for me to be like 6 years ago, when I jumped for joy because of his compliment, and threw myself into his arms with a blushing face. Thank you for the compliment, but you didn't do very well. Not only did you fail to inherit the Yi Group dash, I looked around at the girls with stiff expressions, and the corners of my lips raised a sarcastic arc. Even your taste in choosing women has deteriorated. You. Yi Yunzhou's face turned livid instantly. Why have you become so mean? I sneered, ignored him, and walked straight into the audition room. Seeing the expressions on Adam's and others' faces that said, I'm so lucky, I helplessly raised my head. He straightened his collar awkwardly and walked calmly to the judge's seat. Well, we can start. Picking up the casting list on the table, I did not hesitate to put a big cross behind the names of Lu Yuanyuan, Molly, and Zhao Yunyun. Adam poked his head curiously. None of these are good? I closed the folder with a smile. My acting skills are too bad. I can't even perform the most basic flattery. I picked up the coffee and took a sip. Besides, I am a person who holds grudges. Adam curiously asked, so the male protagonist is really based on Ye's writing? That's right. I admitted honestly. After all, in my limited life experience, he is the most handsome and best-looking Chinese boy I have ever come into contact with. Then, do you want me to open the back door? Adam tentatively asked. No need, I refused sternly. My taste is not that bad. I like those rotten cucumbers. The colleagues immediately exchanged evil looks. Sure enough, when it came to the audition, Yi and Zhou got the most difficult script. When the male protagonist Gu Outyen took the female protagonist on an interstellar spaceship, he encountered a notorious interstellar pirate and had a fierce fight with him. The female protagonist was knocked off the spacecraft and disappeared into the vast universe, her life or death unknown. Not only does it have intense martial arts scenes, but it also has delicate emotional transitions. Without deep martial arts and acting skills, it would be difficult to perform well. When selecting people to play with, Yi and Zhou refused Fiona's help and pointed at me. I want her to act opposite me. I didn't have anything to avoid, so I readily agreed. Okay. It can be seen that Yi and Zhou also learned martial arts specifically for this role, and every move is perfect. But when it comes to the emotional scenes, something is wrong. Why did you leave me? Why did you just walk away and disappear? Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. I thought you couldn't think about it, and even called the police. Stuck. Adam yelled, Yi, your lines are wrong. Yi and Zhou ignored him and even pulled me over and pushed me against the wall. Are you punishing me? Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. You wrote the character Gu Outyen because you missed me, right? Actually, I regretted it after you left. Later, every girl who said she loved me, I thought it was for my money. Only you, Wu Tong, purely love me as a person. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. I chose to leave only after I got the money. There is no such thing as love, let alone deep sadomasochism. It's all just a transaction. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. Yi and Zhou was completely immersed in his own emotions, as if he couldn't hear my explanation. You got together with me when you didn't know I was a rich man. How could it be for money? Okay, even if you love money, now that I have money, come and love me. It's crazy. Sure enough, lunatics can't talk sense. Adam asked the two assistant directors to quickly pull this lunatic away, and I was rescued. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. I know. You are such a proud person. When you heard that I was going to marry Su Tang, you immediately turned around and went abroad. Now you definitely don't bother to share me with others. Wait for me. I will definitely handle all the relationships and come to you to confess. Wait for me, Dash. To the north. This time the humiliation is huge. Adam can laugh at me for the rest of his life.
7.
3 days later, instead of waiting for Yi and Zhou, I waited for 3 unexpected people. In the lobby of a high-end hotel. I had just finished lunch with Adam when I heard a piercing noise coming from the hall in the distance. Oh, you white-eyed wolf. We kindly adopted her and raised her with all kinds of hardships. Even though she is a girl, we also spent money to send her to study. Who would have thought that she would abandon us when she became rich? Adam curiously pulled me forward to check. Phoenix, someone seems to be making trouble over there. The moment I saw the troublemaker, my blood froze instantly, as if I had returned to those dark days. They are my adoptive parents. Before we could get closer, a sharp-eyed reporter spotted me. Ms. Wu Tong is there. My adoptive parents, whom I had not seen for 9 years, were supporting my brother Tong DeBeo, who has Down syndrome. Behind him were reporters holding microphones, surrounding me like a tide. This is the one who has no conscience. Zhang Chunlun, the adoptive mother, was dressed in tatters and had a sharp voice. She stared at me like a hungry wolf. We worked hard to raise her, but now that she is famous, she no longer recognizes her parents. Tong DeBeo tilted his head, drooled, clapped his hands, and laughed. Sister. Wife. Get a wife. His dirty hands were about to grab my skirt, but Adam immediately stood in front of me. A female anchor pointed the microphone in front of me. According to this couple's reports, their adopted daughter refused to support her parents after becoming famous, and she even ignored her brother, who has Down syndrome. I suppressed my trembling. It's not. Another reporter interrupted me rudely. Ms. Wu Tong, your adoptive father said that you earn tens of millions a month, but you are not even willing to give your family basic living expenses. What's your explanation? I can finally see that these media are the ones they invited to deal with me. In this case, there is no need for explanation. Please leave immediately, I shouted sternly, or I will call the police. Everyone listen. Zhang Chunlun sat down on the ground and cried loudly. My poor son, your sister is going to arrest her own mother and put her in jail. She hugged Tong DeBeo's legs tightly, and the latter screamed in fright, and the scene suddenly became chaotic. In the chaos, I saw Molly standing by the revolving door with several female artists. She was holding up her mobile phone to take pictures, with a look of pride on her face that could not be concealed. Adam protected me as I retreated to the elevator. Do I need to call security? At this moment, my adoptive father Tong Jangwo suddenly rushed over and grabbed my wrist. The calluses on his hands hurt me. Girl, give me 5 million, and we will disappear immediately. Otherwise, the whole city will know tomorrow that the great screenwriter Wu Tong is an ungrateful beast. I slammed his hand away and took out my cell phone in full view of everyone. 110? This is the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, and someone is extorting money. As the siren sounded from far away, Zhang Chunlun finally panicked and grabbed Tong DeBeo to run away. Tong Jangwo glared at me fiercely. Little bitch, let's see. 3 hours later, the topics hashtag Phoenix's true identity exposed hashtag and hashtag Phoenix abandoned family members with disabilities topped the list of hot searches. A well-known Big V posted, some literary and artistic workers may look glamorous on the surface, but in reality, they are worse than animals. Zhang Chunlun was crying on a live broadcast platform. We, an old couple, just want a place to live. Her brother wants money for medical treatment. Netizens who didn't know the truth also started to follow suit and insult. The external network has long revealed that her relationship with Adam is not simple. What kind of bird can sleep with an American? Ungrateful, worse than a beast. Unexpectedly, the first person to speak up for me was Yi Yunzhou. I proved that Wu Tong earned her high school tuition and living expenses by herself. Her parents did not give her a penny during the 3 years of high school. Can this be called raising her through all kinds of hardships? The accompanying picture is a photo of me working part-time and some salary slips before, in order to show my love brain, I asked my boss to transfer my salary directly to Yi Yunzhou. Under his leadership, high school teachers and classmates also left messages to testify for me. The phone vibrated. It was still the familiar phone number from 6 years ago. Do you need me to do anything? I've already found someone to look for evidence. I replied, error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. No need. I found the evidence. I am no longer the little girl they bullied 10 years ago. My lawyer quickly issued a lawyer's letter and statement stating that the police had been filed and relevant evidence had been submitted. My elementary school teachers and junior high school teachers told in detail how many times my adoptive parents tried to get me to drop out of school. My neighbor came forward to confirm the fact that my adoptive parents had been domestic violence against me for many years. The most shocking thing is that after verification, it was found that I was not adopted by them, but that they bought me from a trafficker in order to find a child bride for their son. As a result, the couple was sent to prison. Their stupid son can only return to his hometown in the countryside to fend for himself. I finally cut off all ties with his family in every sense of the word. Public opinion on the internet instantly reversed, and the popularity of Eclipse Age also reached a new level. 1 month later. The casting is over, and it's the eve of leaving for the United States. Su Tang and I were sitting in a high-end cafe. Su Tang looked at me, his eyes full of admiration for the same kind. As expected of the person I selected, he is indeed outstanding. Thank you for the compliment. I sincerely thanked her. Thank you for your 10 million and the admission letter. Without you, I might have dropped out of school long ago and could only live in that dirty home. Su Tang took out a divorce lawsuit and chuckled. It seems that Yunzhou is sincere to you. For you, not only did he break up with all his lovers, but he also filed for divorce. I was shocked, even a little overwhelmed. I didn't expect Yi Yunzhou to actually do this for me. It made me a little touched. So, will you agree to divorce him? I asked. Of course not, Su Tang said firmly. I frowned. I thought you would agree. Aren't you afraid that he will mess around outside and cause diseases and illegitimate children? How could you tolerate his bunch of warblers for so many years? Thinking of those Qian Qian, Yuan Lily, and Yun Yun competing for their beauty, my scalp goes numb. Su Tang sneered. I successfully gave birth to a pair of children 3 years ago, and his mission is completed. No matter who he fools around with, I won't use it anymore anyway. I was surprised. Can his parents agree? Of course, Su Tang smiled heartily. If they had known what kind of virtue their son was, they would ask to marry me, a well-known tigress in wealthy circles. Now they have pinned their hopes on their grandchildren. As for Yi Yunzhou, he will be assigned to Baiyun Media in this life, and he will eat and die. As a price for temporarily taking over the Yi family group, I must maintain a marital relationship with him. This is my promise to his parents. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. Recalling those 3 years, I couldn't help but smile. To be honest, I have. If you really don't like her at all, you won't be able to act very affectionately. When he braved the heavy snow to bring me a cup of hot soy milk, when he carried me on his back and walked in the alley late at night, when he looked at me affectionately, who could not be moved by such a sunny, handsome, and gentle young man? I once thought that if he is really willing to give up his marriage to you for me, even if he is really just a poor boy, I will try to give all my sincerity. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. Crack. There was a sudden sound from behind. I saw a bouquet of roses falling to the ground, and the bright red petals scattered everywhere. Yi Yunzhou froze on the spot. His eyes were scarlet, and there were tears in his eyes. He didn't know whether it was regret or anger. Molly was still jumping up and down angrily next to him. Mr. Yi, you heard it. These two women are plotting against you. I am the only one who truly loves you. Yi Yunzhou slapped him in the face. Get out. Molly covered her face in disbelief. Mr. Yi, you hit the wrong person. Don't think I don't know. You also like my money. You heard it just now. I can't get any more from the Yi group. Do you still love me? Seeing Molly's silence, Yi Yunzhou vented his anger and slapped her a few more times. You women are all liars. Liars. Molly left angrily with a pig head on her head. Yi Yunzhou's eyes were filled with reluctance, as if he was saying his last goodbyes. Wu Tong, I really like you, no matter in the past or now. It's just that I was too young at the time and cared too much about other people's opinions. They all laughed at me. I was originally a proud man, but I fell into the hands of a poor girl. My parents also warned me that as the sole heir of the Yi group, my marriage is also a deal. If I continue to be with you, I will take back everything I have. It's all my fault. If I have absolute ability, I can run the Yi family well. If I am determined enough, I will choose you even if I give up everything. Can we still be together? It's ridiculous. I still think you can't let go of me. As long as I give in and apologize, you will always be around me just like before. But it turns out that the only one who can't let go is me. 9. Since then, I have never seen Yi Yunzhou again. I heard from Su Tang that he went to a bar and got drunk, cried and vomited, was secretly photographed, and even became a hot search topic. After waking up, he seemed to have suddenly changed. He got rid of all the yin yang around him and signed a group of truly capable artists, determined to run Bayou Media well and prove his strength to his family. And I no longer care what happens to him. Today, I am no longer defined by hatred. In the United States, on the battlefield that belongs to me, I will continue to expand my territory. Soon, the second part of Eclipse Age was released and topped the global box office. As the original author and screenwriter, I won the Best Screenplay Award, and my career took another step forward. Standing on the high platform I built, I finally understood. The real pleasure is not to kill my enemies with my hands, but to stand at a height that no one can reach and overlook the shadows that have tried to restrain me. The highest level of revenge is to live more dazzlingly and freely than anyone else. A real big heroine never needs to rely on others. My story is written by me, and the ending is destined to be brilliant.